If you like to talk about combat sports and you want to join the discussion, click the subscribe button below and the bell notification icon next to it and join Knucklehead Nation. What's going on, Knuckleheads? Welcome to another episode of the FightersRep video podcast. And this is an ugly one, man. This is an ugly one. You know, I don't typically want to go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You know, typically we stick to Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But somebody had to talk about Anthony Smith's disastrous fight stoppage yesterday at UFC Fight Night, Smith versus Texeira. And this is sort of our reaction discussion to that incredibly unfortunate, and I would go as far as to say, you know, irresponsibly late stoppage for Anthony Lionheart Smith, man. I'm getting information from the worldwide netwebs that are saying that Anthony Smith suffered some major injuries in his bout against Glover Texeira. And yesterday, when we went live immediately after the bout, we were talking about, you know, I was talking about how I felt like the way he was reacting in the second round of the fight against Glover Texeira, it was an exchange that happened along the fence. And I just felt like the way he was reacting in that exchange wasn't the way you would imagine a guy to react that wants to stay in the fight, that wants to be in the fight. That's just not the way that a guy that wants to continue fighting behaves when he's in a fight. And what I mean is, at one point, I believe Texeira landed, it was either, a right hook or maybe a right uppercut. He landed it on Anthony Smith's nose, and Smith walks back. He grabs his nose, and he's doing this. He's grabbing his nose. He's walking away from the fight. And, I mean, he looks like he's in a world of pain. He's retreating and holding his nose. And so at what point, I mean, I didn't understand. I didn't understand at all, man. If a guy gets hit so hard that he's holding his nose mid-fight and cringing and walking away and turning, you know, he was basically turning to the side a bit. You know, doesn't that indicate, isn't that enough to indicate to the referee or to the five guys in his corner, right? Because this guy had five guys in his corner like, you know, he was about to have a delicious, hamburger. There was five guys in there. Five guys in the corner. Not one of these people said anything. And for me, as a human being, more importantly, as a promoter, I was looking at that and I was saying to myself, what's happening here? Why is this fight not being stopped? And if that wasn't enough, you know, for me, because for me that was enough. When a guy takes a shot, he holds his nose, he starts turning away, he doesn't want to fight anymore. And our referee at FightersRep, and he's not our referee, he's a referee with the commission, right? He's with the California State Athletic Commission. He's with, you know, the IKF, co-founder of the IKF. Shout out to the IKF, Dan Bam Bam Stell, Steve Fossum, Elaine Jajola, all those people, great people. But Dan is typically assigned to be referee. Dan Bam Bam Stell is typically assigned to be referee at our shows. And every single time a guy's been hit, reacted in that fashion, and turned around, especially when they turn their back, Dan jumps in there and ends the fight, because that's the sign a guy doesn't want to continue fighting. Now, I'm not saying that Anthony Lionheart Smith turned his back, but he all but turned his back. Although you can argue that immediately following the exchange that I'm talking about, which I believe happened at the end of the second round, where he got hit, held his nose, and started walking back to avoid the fight. He got caught with another big shot, and this time he crumbled and turned. He turtle shelled and turned his body back first at Glover Texeira as he was crumbling. As he was crumbling, he was turning his back. So it's like, dude's getting destroyed at this point. You know, he's already backed away, holding his nose. Now he gets dropped, right? And he's basically defenseless. And for the rest of the round, Texeira just kind of sits on his back and just, you know, just throwing hammers on him. Hammers. And the dude's just eating shots on the side of his head. And his ear is exploding. But his cauliflower ear is exploding. And I've heard the news now. They're saying that orbital bone broke in the second round. So in my opinion, at the very least, that nose was broken when he went like this. Possibly the orbital bone was gone. And at that point, I said to myself, right, as a promoter, as a human being, as a fight fan, I said to myself, why the hell is this fucking fight still happening? I mean, what are we waiting for? You know, why is Jason Herzog not stopping this shit? You know what? I mean, that's fucking ruthless. And why is nobody in this corner stopping the fight? And then this man gets up, right? He fights for another. I mean, he fights all the way into the 5th round. But I mean, in between that, I think it's between the 3rd and the 4th or something like that. He goes to his corner. They're still talking to him, trying to egg him on, telling him, you're not going to lose. You can't lose this fight, this and that. You know, talking to him, you know, the tough talk. I get it. I get it. It's a real man's sport. You know, you don't play combat sports, man. All you guys in here, you know, I appreciate you being in the chat. All of you guys pretty much have trained in some capacity. We got Mike Colleen, Conscious Power. Big shout out to you. We got RGNs in the Granite, the OG. Shout out to you. Lost Ones in here. Fight Life. I know at the very least, Mike Colleen's trained. I know RGN in the Granite has done some fighting and training. I get it. You know, these sports are about being tough. I get it, man. I get it. But at the end of the day, you want your guy to be able to come back and continue to fight and make a living. And so at some point between, I think, the 3rd round, the 4th round, the 5th round, we got a call coming in. Just give me a second. Let me make this point. Between the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, you know, the guy goes to his corner and says, my teeth are falling out. The guy's fucking teeth are falling out. And in hindsight, his corner said, oh, he had veneers. We thought maybe he was talking about his veneers. No, man. You should know. You should know your guy's got some permanent teeth in there, and they're falling out. And at one point in the fight, he hands the teeth over to the referee. And the fight is still not stopped. And I said it yesterday. I said there was some damage done in that fight. I don't know if it's a broken nose, a broken orbital. I mean, it was like prophetic. I said broken nose, maybe a broken orbital bone. You know, maybe a combination, teeth coming out. And it comes out today. Ariel Helwani posts. He says, and this is Ariel Helwani on his Twitter. Shout out to Ariel Helwani. He says, just spoke to Anthony Smith via text. Injuries suffered tonight, broken nose, like your boy called. Broken orbital bone, like I said. 2 missing teeth and a cut under his right eye. And you guys forget that his cauliflower ear also exploded. So that was left out of there. But his cauliflower ear also blew up with all those hammer fists he was taking. And he lost 2 10-8 rounds in a row. And it was going to be 10-8 round number 3. And that's another indicator that this fight should have been stopped way sooner. And I think this was crazy that this fight was allowed to go on so much. So let me read your text before I do that. and read your text. Then I'll open the phone lines. Before I do that, hit that subscribe button below, the bell notification icon next to it if you haven't already. Anything you guys donate to the channel or any Fighters Rep shirts you guys purchase help me to continue building the only pro kickboxing promotion in the state of California. That's Fighters Rep. Hopefully we get going soon. So let's see what's going on here. Mike Colleen says, that was sad. Should have stopped that fight. I agree with you, brother. Fight Life Nation says the corner's job is not to honor the fighter's code of going on their shield. It's to prepare their fighter and then protect them during the fight. RGN in the Granite says if he didn't answer the ref, then he should end it. Lawson says, hey, man, I'm not a UFC guy, but I had to jump in just for support. Appreciate you, man. Never stop. You'll make it. Thank you, Lost One. RGN's in the Granite said that was putrid. I agree. What the fuck, ref and corner people, man? They were sleeping. RGN. Last one says, I never get how the guys in the UFC eat so many ground shots. They should be gone. One punch can end anything. Don't they wear gum guards? They do, Lost One. They wear gum guards, but his teeth got knocked out. So his teeth weren't able to hold his gum guards in. That's what happened here. I mean, his teeth were so fucked up that he couldn't even keep his mouth guard in. That's what he said. And this man, if you look at the fucking replay, he's handing his teeth. He's handing his teeth to the referee. I said to myself, what the fuck is this? Yes, handing over teeth and still fighting. The guy's an animal, man. The guy's an animal. RGN's in the Granite says, you got to stop it. The referee got to stop it. It's a no-brainer. Sustainable money in the fight game. Right. Shame on the corner and the ref. No excuses. 100%. Lost One, flashing the YouTube play sign. So, appreciate you guys. We had a call a little bit earlier. If you want to call back in, the lines are open. There's the number right there at the bottom of your screen. There it is. Give us a call. Tell us your thoughts. Write them in the super chat. Whatever you boys want. I'm for boys and girls. Never know if there's some ladies in here. But, man, I had to talk about this, And, again, we go live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Typically 7 p.m. Pacific, and immediately after the fights. I got no business being on here on a Tuesday or a Thursday. I've done it a few times. But I had to talk about this. I mean, you've got so many checks and balances, right? You've got so many safeguards. You've got the referee. Didn't do his job. You had the corner. Didn't do their job. Let's see who we got here. What's going on, Knucklehead? You are on the line. Who am I talking to?
Bobby Nizzle, RGN's in the Granite.
Bobby Nizzle in the house, RGN in the Granite. What's going on, OG? Appreciate you calling, man.
How you doing, George? Yeah, you got really good insight. I like your channel. I started from scratch too, buddy. So you know what I mean. You're doing good. I'm gonna buy a Fighters Rep shirt and rep it in Boston now.
Hey, man, that means the world to me, Bobby Nizzle. You're not just helping me build the channel. If you see some of the fighters we've got on the promotion, you can go back and watch our fights for free. I think you'd appreciate it.
Oh, I have. I've been a subscriber for a while.
Dope, man. Thank you, man.
I'm all about the fight. I'm all about fight. You know what it is? I sustained. I fell off my porch in 2003, fractured my skull, and they won't even let me fucking spar. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry for the swear, but
no, you can swear all you want, man. You can. It's YouTube. You can say whatever you want, OG.
I know. I smoke joints on fucking YouTube on my skits. Soon I'll have a podcast, and we'll go over things. I'm gonna try to get you a lot of support here in the Northeast Coast.
I would love it, man. You seem definitely like one of the real ones, man. I was checking out your channel. I said, this is a guy I could get behind, man.
I appreciate you doing that. I really do. Support for support. That's the way it is. Everyone helps each other. And, us old school golden era people, we understand that. I'm trying to teach my younger son this stuff and the younger generation. But they're good kids. It's a good generation. We got a lot of great fighters in boxing and MMA, everything. UFC, everything. It's just great. Great time. And hopefully we'll all get through this coronavirus. Since the beginning, I said, we got to stand friggin' tall and be brave and no panic. We're America. We set the standard for everybody.
Yeah.
Being strong.
For sure. No, I couldn't agree more. And I love that golden era talk you say, man. It's respect, earn respect. You know what I mean? And
damn straight. Demand respect. Give respect, get respect. It's very much common sense in life.
I love it, man. And we've definitely lost that. And we need the OGs like yourself, to spread that knowledge, brother.
How's Cali? How's Cali right now? How is it there?
It's okay, man. It's okay. I mean, you mean with this lockdown or just in general?
Yeah, I hear Joe Rogan. Everyone's complaining. I don't blame them. You know what I mean? It seems like it's a big state there. So
yeah,
we got 60+ million in Cali.
Yeah, there's a ton of people out here. OG.
Where are you, George? Where are you out of? Out of LA?
Me right now, it's LA County, but LA County, what people?
Humboldt?
No, I'm in San Pedro. I'm
by
the
San
port.
Pedro.
Yeah,
I get it.
I'm by the port, by all the longshoremen, and
So you're near the water, like me.
Yeah,
Right. Okay, I get it.
It's a big.
Listen, I know. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry, George. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was saying it's a big state. I don't know enough about this fucking disease. I hear it's something different every day. The way I treat it is, I don't want to fucking die. I don't want to kill any older people. I'm staying my ass in the house doing what they tell me to do. You know what I mean? I don't know enough about it,
Exactly. You know what, Joe? I go out every day. I bring my son out every day to shoot hoop. We go to the market, all this. I go out every day to run. Early in the morning, I go out for runs right through the neighborhood. No one bothers me. I go out, jump rope, push 1,000 push-ups, shadow boxing, whatever, everything. No one bothers me. I see people running by every day out there today, too. So, I don't think I think people panic too much in the news. People watching the news, I think it's not too smart. I think people should listen to scientists and physicists and doctors, and it's not as bad as people think it is. Listen to the guy Elon Musk. He's a freaking genius. Listen to him on Joe Rogan. People just panic, and I think it's political. That's my honest opinion, but that's just my opinion.
I think everything's fucking political, man. It's driving me crazy. You know what I mean?
Listen, George, politics, right? I lived politics on the street. I lived it in prison. I lived it in DYS, juvie. I lived it in the union. And I understand DC politics because it's guys like us that protect those politicians in the first place. If shit hit the fan, it's guys like us. It's alpha males, alpha females.
Yeah.
It's people that ain't scared. It's people with balls. And that's what America's built on. And listen, I love your channel, and I love the fight game, and I love people that analyze it correctly. I can't stand listening to people that don't know what they're talking about. It's embarrassing. For them. I'm embarrassed for them.
Yeah. Man.
Not for you, George. You definitely understand the game.
Thank you, man.
I appreciate your knowledge.
I appreciate the cosign, man, from a real OG that's fought. And, I know you grew up in a tough neighborhood and you're a tough guy. And I got much respect for you, man.
I did fight in the ring, in prison, and in amateur, but it didn't pay to fight here. I was building water tunnels as a sandhog after I got out of prison for 17 years.
Damn,
I'm only 49, though, but you know what I mean? I still got a long way to go.
You're in good shape, too, man. You look like you're in good shape, too, Rob.
I train hard. Even with a fractured skull and everything, I still went back to work, but what the doctors, my specialist, after 8.5 years back to work, in about 2010, he's like, I can't morally allow you to work anymore. I'm like, I'm not complaining. I was on so much medicine, so many painkillers for, I'd say 15 years. I've been 26 months plus right now off the pain meds. I was on a lot of Xanax, and I'm down to 3. I was on 9 a day. I went down to 3.
Well, I hope you get. I hope you get rid of that shit, man.
No, well, it's just the pain from the fractured skull. You have brain surgery, and you have a 50-50 chance to live. And and you come out of it 2 days later and you're home a week later when they want you upstairs for 3 to 9 months, up on top of the ICU unit to monitor you. I'm like, listen, I got a wife. I can do it at home on the couch. Thank you for saving my life. And I went back to work after that. And I always wanted to fight again, but they would never let me. I don't know why. It drives me nuts, but getting a license to fight again ain't easy.
No, man, especially after 40, they want to put all kinds of restrictions on guys.
And I don't think age has anything to do with anything. I really don't. Honestly.
Hey, Glover.
I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it online, but still, live online. But it's like not even. It's not even funny sometimes when people get cute and you got to pull someone's card. Not even looking for it. Someone acts like a tough guy, you got to slap them in the face and say, "Look at how easy this is."
Hey, Rob.
Yeah.
Glover was showing out for a 40-year-old yesterday, man.
I know.
What did you think of that fight, brother?
I was very impressed, and not only that, the whole thing. What I said was putrid. That just disgusted me. It ruined the whole fucking thing. Yeah. In boxing, if the ref grabs the gloves, if the guy ain't holding the gloves together and bringing them up to his, they should follow the same protocol, especially in MMA. That's like a street fight, MMA.
Yeah.
I've been in street fights. I kick people in the face and the ribs, and this is when I was younger. And this is when I was a young guy, you know what I mean? But I haven't done that shit in 26 years. I'm just saying, not getting in street fights. I don't go to bars, so I don't put myself in that position. But I'm just saying, that guy obviously, right? He wasn't listening to the ref. The ref should have stopped it right there. On ego or no ego, it doesn't matter. Fighter's ego, it doesn't matter. You got to go over there and say, "Hey, I'm talking to you." If he don't answer, he's not responsive. He can't fight. He can't defend himself.
Yeah.
And the corner people should be ashamed too. Go out on a shield. Man. Come on, go out on a shield. He's got to live the rest of his life. He's got to make money.
Man, there was
He'll come back. One loss, right, George?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Bro,
it's just a loss.
There was 5 motherfuckers in that corner, man.
That's what I mean. One guy couldn't do the right. Look at the one guy that did the right thing for Wilder, right? Wilder didn't beat Fury at 70% the first fight. Fury at 85% the second fight. He ain't gonna beat him at 100% now. No. There's no way.
Yeah, I don't even want to watch it.
Ali lost. Tyson lost. Hagler lost. They're all fucking epic Hall of Famers, inspirations for me. Jack Dempsey. There's a lot of them that lost. And Wilder can come back, but not when Tyson Fury's the champ.
I agree, man. Tyson Fury's going to be too much for that man. Too much.
It makes me laugh, George. Wilder should take that money. Take that money and come back in a year and see what happens. A couple warm-up fights, and maybe Fury will retire after a couple fights.
You talking all this sense, man. Why you talking all this sense, brother? I'm not used to
brutally honest guy, George.
I'm not used to hearing all this sense from the boxing world.
Boston to Philly, George. Boston to Philly. It's all the fight game if you really think about it.
Yeah, you're right.
You say you're from Florida, right? You say you're from Florida, right? Originally.
Originally Miami boy. Yeah, I'm from Miami.
Oh, Miami. Oh, so you're from Miami's like a different country. I love it down there, though. I fucking love it down. I went down there one time. I thought I was going to go to prison for the rest of my life, but I loved it. I got out of there. But it's beautiful.
I'm glad you made it out, brother.
I'm glad you made it to Cali. You went to Cali promoting fights. You're doing good, George.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing, George, honestly.
Thank you, man. Means a lot. Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
Hey, it means a lot. The comments and everything, the positive comments. I appreciate it,
you keep doing what you're doing, man. I see you big time, man. And you know what? I even like that music video you made, man. That shit was hard as fuck.
I do that. I do the music. I have a lot of experience in music, too. Yeah, so man. Music and fighting.
Keep doing your thing and keep, get rid of those pills. You're a real OG. We need you. We need guys like you around, bro. So just stay up.
Oh, the pills are gone forever. Those are gone. I haven't even had the urge in 26 plus months. So I don't even think of that. I just finished real estate school through the coronavirus. Half the class didn't even show up for the last 2 weeks, but I finished that. I'm just waiting to take the test and
I love it.
Transition. You know what I mean? Do something different. I get disability, but I don't want to just sit around and have my bills paid and all that stuff. I'd rather do more and make more money. You know what I mean?
For sure. Well, the grind don't stop, and
The grind don't stop. You got it, George.
We appreciate you big time, Robert. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, George. Fight rep, absolutely.
We'll talk soon, brother. Thank you for calling
absolutely,
in,
brother.
All right.
Thank you.
That's RG Ends in the Granite, the real OG, man. Definitely check out his channel. A Lost One is asking how you can subscribe to his channel. It's just his name. If you search for it on YouTube, you'll be able to find it. Click subscribe. Very interesting dude. Old school, you know, OG. I called him OG as soon as I saw him. You know, guy from the Northeast, Boston. Just, you know, tough guy, alpha male. You know, kind of guy you can have a drink with for sure. If he's willing to have a drink. You know, he's been keeping it clean, but a very cool cat. Nonetheless, a guy who knows about his fights. Lost One says, your interviews are legendary, man. Don't stop. No one else is doing it like you. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I appreciate it. People will be seeing your shirt in the UK, too. LOL. Thank you, man. I hope you get it. You know, if I'm being honest, man, our last event, man, before this fucking Corona shit went down, it was at the end of February. I can't believe it. It was only 2.5 months ago. And, man, we sold this is a big venue too. It seats over 1,000 people. We sold the thing out. They were turning people away at the door. This is for kickboxing. People told me, oh, why are you doing kickboxing? Kickboxing is dead. I told them, fuck you. Kickboxing is the shit. There's no grappling, nothing. People just stand and bang it out, you know? And I like those rules of engagement. I like it. So, man, we were turning people away at the door at the end of February for the last fight. Anderson Silva's son was fighting for us. The best camps, you guys name them, they were there. We had Black House MMA where Anderson Silva and Lyoto Machida train. You know, we had Systems Training Center. That's where Anderson's son is training now. Also, they've got Christos Giagos and a bunch of other guys in the UFC. We had CMMA there. That's Chad George's gym. He's the first ever combat jiu-jitsu world champion. He's got a bunch of guys. The last Bellator event, he had 3 or 4 guys on that event. Chad George is a bad motherfucker. Congrats to him. He just had a baby last night, I think it was, or this morning. So big congrats to my boy Chad George. You know, we got Saxon Muay Thai. They got Alan Jabane in the UFC. You know, all these gyms out here in California, man, they like the weather. They come out here, they set up shop, and I believe I got the access to the best talent in the world. Hell, we had Manny Robles, Andy Ruiz's trainer, at the last event. He came, I put him up in the VIP. I got him a bottle. That's my boy, you know. We've become cool. He let me interview him right after the Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz fight, so we became cool, man. We're good with the boxing world here. We're good with everybody. And, you know, I appreciate you guys. But my point is, man, at the shows, people buy these shirts up like crazy. They seem to like them. Let me show them to you so you guys get a better view. So that's what the shirts look like. My big-ass lion on there. Lion of Judah, brother. And we put the lion on there because that's the king of the fucking jungle, man. That's the king of the fucking jungle, you know? And it's fight or flight in this life, you know? It's fight or flight in this life. So let me see here. Khalid Rabai says, what do you think of Mike Tyson fighting again? You know, I got no problem with Mike Tyson fighting again. None at all. As long as he fights to his level. So, I mean, I don't want to see him go in there against Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? I don't want the guy to get killed and ruin his legacy. But if he goes in there, you know, steadily and against guys that are around his level, he could make a ton of money. And if he wants to do it, who am I to tell the guy no? You know, if he wants to do it, go in there and fight. You know, what's wrong? You know, if Tyson fights, any promoter is going to pay millions of dollars to promote that fight. So the guy will make himself a lot of money. And I know at one point he was bankrupt. I'm sure he's making some good money and he's got his little ranch or whatever he's got going on, so he's making a little money. But the guy went bankrupt. He lost almost everything he made in boxing. So if he wanted to come back for an exhibition fight and make millions of dollars and maybe knock somebody the fuck out and show the world that at the age of 53 you could still bang a motherfucker out, I have zero issues with him doing that. And I'll sit there and I'll watch. I'll drink my little beer or my whiskey and, get some nachos or some shit, and I'll watch that, man. And that shit'll be, I guarantee you that'll be pure entertainment. That'll be pure entertainment. We got another call. Let's see what's going on here. Our brother Marco Martinez on the chat. What's going on, Marco?
What's going on, George?
What's up, man, brother?
I gotta ask, man, because this is a good topic, man. It's weird because I think as fans we're kind of fickle. We like to see fighters fight and not quit and give it up. You want to see them give their all.
Yeah, you're right.
But then you get kind of mad when they give up. I remember Victor Ortiz fought Marcus Maidana. Remember when he quit in the ring and he goes, "I don't like getting hit so much. I'm too pretty for this."
Yeah. Well, Maidana fucked his ass up.
Yeah, but it was a back and forth war, and he quit before the war was
Yeah, he bitched out. Yeah, he bitched out. He broke.
But then we get so mad. Like I was thinking about when who's the girl who fought Amanda Nunes? Raquel Pennington. When Raquel Pennington, she told her coach, she said, "Hey, look, man, I don't want to go out there." And her coach made her go out there.
Right.
And she got fucked up that round.
Yeah.
So there's a fine line, and I don't know if it's because they want to stay a drawing power. I think they tell their guys they can't turn down the fight. They can't stop the fight.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Marco, and I don't mean to cut you off. By the way, if you guys don't know Marco Martinez, he's Fight Life Nation in the chat. He actually helps out at the FightersRep event. He's part of the team. I got a lot of love from Marco and his wife. Great people. Marco, to your point, that fight with Raquel Pennington, that's a fight that you stop. I mean, there's degrees.
Right.
There's degrees. The fight we saw. Even the Tony Ferguson fight, I thought that was stopped on time. Had that gone on 1 second longer, I would have been going crazy. Herb Dean saw when it was time to stop the fight. You know what I mean? But that Teixeira fight last night against Smith, man. I mean, Marco? You've been watching fights long enough. You know what I mean? When you saw him get hit and hold his face and start backing up, don't you think at that point the referee should jump in and be like, "Yo, that's it. It's over."
Right. Do you think it's because they're veterans? Because you watched earlier, Drew Dober and Alexander Hernandez, those guys were slugging it out. And Alexander Hernandez, when they stopped the fight, he didn't look, wrecked like Lionheart. He didn't look that wrecked, but the referee knew that he was done, and everyone knew he was done.
Was it the same referee? I don't know.
No, it wasn't Jason Herzog.
Okay,
it was someone different.
Okay. So
but Jason Herzog's a great ref. When you look at all the other refs, I think everyone has mistakes. If you look at some of her beam stoppages, they've been off and on. It's going to happen. I don't understand when the guy gives you his teeth. I feel like
what?
That was just the weirdest thing.
The dude is picking his teeth up off the floor and handing them over. I said, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, I think
that's it. Like it's over. Like look, Marco. I don't know if you've seen me when a guy gets knocked out at a FightersRep show. I'm shitting myself. I can't handle it. I mean, I want to see a good fight, and I know somebody's going to get knocked out, but I get worried about these guys because it's not worth it to me that a guy ruin his life, especially for an amateur fight. I mean, even for the pro fights, you know, it's not worth it to me. A guy ruin his life. If you could come again and improve, that's better for me than you staying in there when you've got no shot. And I think that's what happened here. You know, he's in there.
Yeah.
He's in there. He's fighting. But after the end of that second round, you've got no shot. I mean, he might be throwing back here and there, but that's Glover Texeira. He's not fighting some fucking, you know, he's not fighting Glass Joe. He's fighting Glover Texeira. And you just barely surviving for 3 rounds in a row. It's just, I don't get it. Look, for me, there was so many reasons to stop that fight. When he grabbed his nose and backed up and turned around. You've seen Bam Stell at our events. What happens when a guy turns his back? What happens?
No, you gotta stop the fight.
You stop the fucking fight.
Yeah.
The guy can't fight anymore.
That's saying you don't want to fight. Yeah.
Bro, listen.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I'm saying, like, you know, we're not trying to kill motherfuckers here. This is a fight, you know? And so if a guy turns around, then, okay, maybe his mind still wants to fight, but his body just cannot fight anymore. And it was the same thing. You know where else this happened? And I got really fucking pissed about this. Remember that light heavyweight boxing match that happened recently between Beterbiev and Gvozdyk, Teddy Atlas's guy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember.
And fucking Max Kellerman, bitch ass, who looks like he's never played a sport in his life, is saying that the guy gave up. The guy didn't give up. The guy couldn't stand up anymore. The guy got the shit beat out of him to the point where his body gave out. So, I mean, a lot of the times it's not these guys giving up, and you can't say that the guy's a coward and he gave up if the guy's body gives out on him, right? Victor Ortiz, it was going back and forth. He quit. Yeah. Victor Ortiz quit. But Gvozdyk couldn't stand up anymore because he took so much punishment. Yeah. And same shit with Anthony Lionheart Smith last night. He took so much punishment that his body's instinct as a biological creature that had been evolving for 4 billion years on planet Earth, that's been around for 4 trillion years, told him, your fucking face is broken. You have to turn around or you're going to die. Am I right?
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
That's what happened.
I got one more thing to talk to you before we go, George. It came out today. John Jones and Francis Ngannou calling each other out on Twitter. I know that fight is like pie in the sky, and they're probably just talking smack, hoping to get that big paycheck from the UFC. Yeah. But man, do I want Uncle Dana to make that fight happen. I think that would be money. I think I know John Jones would wrestle fuck him and probably make it a boring fight. And
he's got to.
We'd be arguing, but could you imagine Ngannou landing a punch on John Jones and putting him to sleep?
He's got to. The only guy that could stand at all with Ngannou, the only guy that could stand with him is Stipe Miocic. He's the only guy, and even then, he's going to have to wrestle him down at some point if he wants to play it smart. But he's the only guy. He's the only guy big enough, strong enough, with good enough boxing and IQ and head movement to be able to maybe get away with standing up with Francis Ngannou for a long period of time. But at some point, he's got to take him down. If you're smart and you fight that guy, you got to take him down. You can't stand up with that.
Yeah.
And John Jones will take him down, right? I mean, John Jones' stand-up is good, but he's going to be in a whole nother world with a whole nother weight class. And the thing is, his boxing isn't that good. That's John Jones' weakness. His boxing is not that good. Stipe's is good enough to hang with Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou is a boxer. He's not a kickboxer or a Muay Thai guy. He is a boxer, right?
Right. So I just think when you look at those two divisions, the heavyweights are clogged up, right? DC's got to fight Stipe, and when that takes, who knows how long that takes, and then they're going to take more time off. So now you got Francis Ngannou, who's fresh. He didn't get a scratch on him in this last fight. And then you got John Jones in the light heavyweight division. He said, hey, I got nothing more to prove. Blachowicz is not an exciting name. I really, personally, I don't care to watch that. I don't care to watch the Reyes rematch. Dominic Reyes, he just doesn't inspire. I know that he
Reyes is
really
good though. Reyes is good, man. Reyes is good.
He's good. I've seen that fight. I'm not that excited. I am excited if they can make this Ngannou John Jones fight, but I know they're gonna ask for like the most money and nobody's gonna get it done.
Yeah,
It's sadness. All right, George. Good luck, man. Are you gonna be watching on Saturday night?
Oh man, you know I'm gonna be. What the fuck else is there to do, Marco? You're out here in California.
All right, George. I'll see you on Saturday night, man.
Yeah, brother. Hey, I appreciate you calling in. I appreciate everything you do for the promotion. You know, and this thing soon as this fucking bullshit virus goes away. This shit is back on track, man. You saw what we did last time, so.
Oh, man, I can't wait. Hey, for anybody who didn't show up, Fighters Rep, that was 9, right? That was Fighters Rep 9, or was that Fighters Rep? Fighters Rep 9 was such a big event, and I can't explain. You had to have been there, because I'm going to be honest with you, George, and I don't want to disrespect you or anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes our events have been up and down. Especially when it was MMA, you would have 8 great fights to start the night, and then there would be a lull in the action. I don't know what it was, but it would be lull, and then it was kind of like a long night. And then sometimes that happened with the kickboxing, and even though they were way more exciting fights, they'd be long. It would be like a long show. It'd be like a 5-hour show, and it just kind of like, there were some people that got hurt before, and it would cause a delay in the action.
Yeah.
Well, and it dragged on.
That's the nature of the fight game.
Fighters Rep 9 was straight fire from beginning to end. Everything about it. The crowd was, amazing. The fights were amazing. From that very first fight to the last one.
Yeah, man.
It was just so good, dude. And I can't wait for Fighters Rep 10.
And it's because it was our first Pro-Am, man. When we finally got those pros, on the card mixed with the amateurs, it was just...
Dude, it was fire. And we didn't even have our best talent out there. We have I'm not saying that we didn't have our best. Some of our best guys. Wilson Hall was not there.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Wilson Hall on that card?
Wilson Hall.
Oh, my goodness.
Wilson Hall is a bad motherfucker, man. That's a bad motherfucker.
Edgar Barbary wasn't there. Could you imagine Edgar Barbary on that card?
My favorite.
That card, that was like UFC 200. That was that was a loaded card.
Edgar Barbary.
Fighters Rep 10. There you go, Edgar Barbary.
If Edgar Barbary doesn't become America's favorite heavyweight, at some point, I'm going to be really upset with the universe. I'm going to be really upset. That's the best. That's the best maybe heavyweight in the state, or one of them, and he's a Mexican. How badass is that? A Mexican heavyweight like Andy Ruiz, but in kickboxing. I love it. I love it. I think that's
all right, man, George. You take care.
All right, Marco. Appreciate you calling in, brother. Marco Martinez, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what else we got here. Sorry about that, guys. I get a little carried away on these calls, man. Let's see here. Last one says, teach your kid how to box. It's important. I agree. My son, since he was 3 years old, he's been doing Taekwondo. And in his Taekwondo class, he knows how to kick. He knows how to throw a jab. This kid, me and him play fight all the damn time. He's ready. And then you better believe I'm going to throw him at Chad George's MMA school where I go as soon as possible. That kid's going to be learning jiu-jitsu and wrestling. Kid's going to be a killer. My daughter, too. She's going to learn that shit. I'm not going to let no fucking dude run up on her. Positivity is the key. This crap won't kill you. Over here in London, people panicking way too much, walking into other people's houses. When I walk down the street, that's funny. Not even halfway. Give it a year and do some light sparring. Probably will help. I've seen a guy play guitar while some doctor's doing brain surgery. You can fight, but start slow. Fuck a loss. They should and this is Lost One says they should just chuck Wilder 5 million to step aside. So he takes it and needs more time to work on his game. Wilder does need time to work on his game, man. Wilder's not ready for Tyson Fury. Wilder's never going to be ready for Tyson Fury. If he goes, I mean, at least not in the short term. He's going to need some time for real, to work on his craft if he wants to beat a guy like Tyson Fury. Let's see here. RGN's in the granite says, thank you, FightersRep. Respect, Lost One. Thank you, George. All of yous. I love kickboxing. I love it, RGN. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Rob. Says Chad George Epic. Come back, Andy. I'll get one this month. Fact, Lost One says they should throw him in with Briggs. That guy's been looking for a fight for years that would make millions. And there were rumors that Briggs and Tyson were going to fight in the bare knuckle fighting. I was like, holy shit, that's really scary if Shannon Briggs and Mike Tyson fought bare knuckle. Because, man, I don't know. I don't know if you guys have seen the size of Shannon Briggs' knuckles, man. That guy's knuckles are fucking huge. RGN's in the granite says Tyson wants to fight for charity, make some money, and hurt Tony or someone in their 50s. Jay's Tony. Galata stopped versus Mike Tyson. He had broken ribs, broken eye socket. Tough guy, too. Everyone should go to the dark side in a fight, but prize fights need to be protected for their futures. I agree with that. And Hooper Boy said different ref, talking about Herzog versus whoever it was that was refereeing the Dober fight. Arjun's in the granite says Max is a coward, talking about Max Kellerman. And John Jones, look, see, do savage. Just seeing Francis on Mike Tyson's hotboxing. He's hungry. Just a heavy punching striker, Francis, but he's learning every fight could be dangerous. I like Stipe, animal. Planets align. Hey, I do think Francis is a problem, man, but Stipe showed some fantastic head movement and everything else in that fight against Francis. He showed, to me at least, that he's the only guy that could stand up with Francis. Nobody in the heavyweight division, in my opinion, can stand up with Francis and Stipe. And even though Jairzinho got knocked out in 20 seconds, he does have the credentials. But he got caught. He got caught bad by the wrong guy. He called out the wrong guy. But of course, I respect, at the end of the day, he called out the wrong guy. I say that sarcastically, but at the end of the day, I got huge respect for Jairzinho to call out Francis Ngannou like that. I do think Jairzinho, if he's settled in, he's got so much kickboxing experience, he probably could stand with anyone and beat anybody in a technical, kind of stand-up match in the UFC. But you got to take into account that power with those 4-ounce gloves on, man. And that's the problem that Francis Ngannou poses. Neil the security said, what's up, Chief? What's up with you, Neil? Appreciate you joining, brother. RGN says, start him young. My son didn't want to fight. He plays basketball. Daughter, brown belt, karate. Hey, man, basketball is not bad. Your boy played basketball in high school. RGN says, Wilder needs to learn to fight walking back and laterally. Let's go, champ. Yep, Stipe can and will, I think, too. Wilder, man. Wilder steps backwards with the wrong foot. He crosses his legs. He doesn't use his jab enough. He's not, I don't know. He's just so awkward, and a lot of it has to do with, I think, a lack of he does lack some coordination, man. He is a little bit wild. He's not worked on his technique. And, now in his mid-30s, right? How much time does he have to improve his technique versus a guy in Tyson Fury who's already a technical freaking monster and is, 4 years younger than him, might still be priming. Tyson Fury might not have even primed yet. We haven't even seen the best. I guarantee you, we haven't seen the best of Tyson Fury. I do think we've seen the best of Deontay Wilder. I mean, there's a chance, he improves a little bit. But I mean, what Tyson Fury does, that takes years. That takes decades. That's a lifetime of boxing. The guy's been boxing since he was like 6 years old. That's not something Deontay Wilder's just going to be able to pick up. And that's why, I don't think he beats Fury. And Rob says he gives him a ton of credit. I do. I do give him a ton of credit, because he showed heart in the fight. He didn't give up. And he wants to go back in there and fight Tyson Fury again. But I just don't think he's got what it takes, man. I don't think he's got what it takes. And I don't think he's got what it takes to a degree that I don't even want to watch that fight. I would rather watch Tyson Fury fight Anthony Joshua. That's what I would rather watch. And see if Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua can unify the heavyweight titles. And then start letting the young bucks come up. Also, Dillian White, man. I love Dillian White. That might be, one of my favorite fighters just because he's the can man. He wants to fight everybody. Anywhere, anytime, Dillian White will fight you. And I think that kind of mentality, man, that's what you want in a fighter. That's the guy. If I'm rolling on a team, in a team, that's the guy I want on my side, man. I want Dillian White on my side. He's ready to fight anybody, anytime, anywhere, I like that, man. That's what I look for in a fighter. And we still have that. We still have that in kickboxing, man. I like that about kickboxing. Boxing is, become an A-side, B-side sport. I still love it, but you gotta call a spade, man. A-side, B-side all the time. Typically, who's gonna win. Only once in a while you get that fight where, there's a 50-50 chance. One that comes to mind, because he's been on this channel, was that Regis Prograis Josh Taylor fight that they did out in the UK. I didn't know who was going to win that fight, man. And it takes a guy with balls like Regis Prograis, like Josh Taylor, to get in a ring and fight, And Tyson Fury is the same way, and Dillian White is the same way. That's why I got respect for these guys. I give Wilder credit, but, I think he's been catered to. I think his career was guided, and I think it backfired. I mean, I think as much as, I liked him knocking people out, thought it was exciting, I didn't think he fought. I said it time and time again. I didn't think he fought who he needed to fight to be able to go in there against a guy like Tyson Fury. He hadn't fought anyone elite. Anyone. Meanwhile, Fury and Joshua have been fighting everybody, and so they were more prepared for that, that top-level fight. And that's why I think Wilder lost. I mean, he just, besides not working on his craft the way he should have, he just didn't have the experience. The best guy he fought was Luis Ortiz. That was the best guy. Let's see what else we got here. No, he don't versus Fury. Fury, AJ. White's got heart for sure. Gotta find what good kickboxing channel, George. My favorite kickboxing obviously is Glory. I love Glory. I love Glory kickboxing. But besides that, I want to be kind of the Glory of the United States. That's the goal. So, anything you guys purchase in the link below, donate, whatever, reinvested right back into the promotion. We were killing it before this fucking pandemic happened, but it'll go away. I got no worries. We just got to be patient. But anyway, knuckleheads, we've been on almost an hour. I appreciate you guys being on here. I got much love for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. And we'll do this shit again tomorrow. We'll preview the fights. Tomorrow we'll preview the fights for Saturday's UFC Fight Night. So I want you guys tonight to go do your homework and give me some predictions tomorrow, and we'll see, we'll see who comes closest to getting it right. Then we'll talk about him. We'll talk about him immediately after the fights on Saturday. Anyway, knuckleheads, much love to you guys. Have a great night. I'm the Fighters Rep, and I'm out of here. Until next time, Keep it clean, baby.